Yo, how's it going? Hey, it's Comic Crack from deep in the prairies of Manitoba here. Rez, how's it going? How the hell are you? Thanks for joining. Um, so I tweeted a link that was an enormous box. There's a bit of a story. The story goes back in about, I don't know, a week and a half ago. Or 2 weeks ago, I noticed a lot on eBay that was for 70 underground comics. They were all in really poor shape. The photos showed that. My brief chat with the guy doing the sales confirmed it. I knew what I was getting into, 100% I knew it. The thing that made it so intriguing was that the initial bid price was so low, like under $1 a book, basically. So I figured I'd watch it for a bit, and I started bidding. I ended up winning the entire lot, and including shipping, I think I ended up paying, it averaged about $2.33 a book. That's Canadian, which I think is a great deal. And again, I knew that these weren't going to be in the best shape. I knew that they were going to be very low grade kind of reader copies, but there was so many in here that I didn't have and that I'm very curious about. And I figured this is kind of a good way to at least get to experience some of the books and read some of the books, even if there's something that I pass on later on once I upgrade some of the titles. But looking through the stack, there's quite a few in here that are good as they are, that would stay in my collection as they are. There is some the downside is, so the books came today in the mail, an enormous box. I opened them up and I started pulling them out, and I noticed a lot had previously been water damaged, and that's something that he didn't tell me in the lot. And then within those, there was even a stack of books that were starting to develop like black mold. I don't fuck with mold. I don't try to do any sort of tricks. I don't try to do nothing. I do not fuck around with mold. Mold is a terrifying thing to me, and I'm sure a lot of people, but in Manitoba and Winnipeg, we have a lot of issues with flooding in some of the houses. And there's issues with mold within houses that can just be obviously really detrimental to your health and that sort of thing. So I do not fuck with mold. I immediately separated those and I threw them in the garbage. The good side of it is, the good news is, I've been talking to the guy. I gotta say right off the top, this guy who made the sale has been incredibly easy to deal with and an incredibly nice guy. I contacted him and said, hey, listen, it was around 20 books. So I would be happy with a refund, a partial refund of $45 Canadian. And he agreed to it without even a moment's hesitation. He got back to me right away. Within like 5 minutes of me sending the message, he got back to me. We exchanged a little more details, and then within another 5 minutes, he had refunded the money. And I saw, just before I hit start live broadcast, I saw an email from PayPal saying that he had refunded me, did a partial refund. So I'm extremely happy with it. There are some here that I'm going to show you that are going into the garbage, but they didn't have the mold. I just wanted you to get a kind of sense of the damage to some of these. And again, out of 70 books, 20 books went straight to the garbage. That's more than fine. And again, I'm with the rest of these books, I'm very happy with. There are some doubles that I may just end up giving away as gifts. I was going to try to, like, we'll see, there may be some here that are doubles that are in good enough condition. I might be able to add to my kind of trade pile to trade with the guy in town here. But I have a feeling there's going to be some that'll just be put away to kind of stand by to get sent out as gifts. So just have a little look. So again, I don't know how much this is going to translate to this camera, but we'll try our best. I mean, you can see, you can see all the wrinkling. There you go. On the front and on the back. And that stuff down there looks like it's just color transfer from the book, whatever book it was stored with. I'm assuming they were all stored without bags and boards. So that's just some color transfer. That's nothing scary. Like I said, the ones that had the showing of mold, they went straight into the garbage. I didn't want to even have them in the house, and for sure not near other comics and paper. So I mean, you know, and these ones, they just are, none of them are damp, obviously, but they're very, very water damaged. So these are the next stack that's going to go into the garbage. There's only a few of these I kept just to kind of give you a sense of things. And then I'd say again, like these are the ones that are in the poorest shape. So yeah, I mean, similar kind of thing. I won't show you too many of these damaged ones here, but again, I don't like messing around with anything that's had moisture or any sort of water damage or any sort of exposure to mold. I'm a little, I have to say that I'm mildly concerned, because all of these books were in the same box. I'm mildly concerned that the rest of the books have been in a box with comics that had mold starting on them. I'm pretty good with it. But I do admit I do have a little bit of a germaphobe kind of reaction to the idea of mold. Like I just don't want to fuck with it whatsoever. Yeah, so there you go. And then you can see here, this one I put to the side too. You can see on the bottoms of the pages on some of these books, this was kind of, you know, this was one that obviously was still damaged, but it didn't get the full brunt of it. And that goes through the entire book, which is unfortunate. I mean, you know, because some of the books like this, Captain Guts, I was always curious in reading this. I've heard about it and come across it in auctions quite a few times. Anyway, so let's get those out of the way. And let's talk about, I'm going to try to fire through this, but I mean, this is the stack that we're looking at, right? I'm not going to spend too much time on most of them, and because quite honestly, most of them I don't know anything about, and that was also part of the reason why I wanted to get this lot, because there was a lot of books here that I just don't know anything about. Rez is saying that she's very excited. Glad you got rid of the water damaged and moldy books. I had a ton of books lost to the hurricane last year and had to chuck them in the trash. It's a real fucking bummer when you have to do stuff like that. It's really disappointing. A similar thing happened to my brother. He's been in China now for about 15 years, 14, 13 years, something like that. Anyway, he had a lot of his stuff stored at my parents' house. My parents now live in like a gated community. The house they lived in before had some flooding happen in the basement, and even though his stuff was kind of up off the floor, the water was high enough that a lot of his stuff got destroyed. Lots of stuff, like record collections, because he had all his stuff stored in that basement, right? So most of his things he had to throw out, and he was really obviously upset. I mean, it's a really shitty thing to have happen, right? I mean, let alone the fact of, like you were saying, a hurricane, forget about it. Just having to kind of live through that experience and then throw away big chunks of your life. I can't even imagine. I cannot imagine. Luckily for me, I've had some experience with flooding and stuff, but nothing that's been really, really, really detrimental. Yeah, thankfully. Anyway, so the books themselves. This is something called Comic Media, number 10, with a 50p price tag on the front. Yeah, so it is London, England, but it also had the cents on there as well too, 75 cents. Looks interesting. Looks like it's filled with a bunch of strips. This isn't necessarily, you know, there was some that kind of that maybe bridge the gap a little between underground and mainstream. Some articles. So just kind of like a comics journal type of format with this Comic Media. And like I said, I don't know the first thing about it here. The Mind of Mrs. Drake strip. So it looks like it's maybe newspaper strips reprinted. So that's that one, issue number 10. And then there was issue number 11 of Comic Media as well. with a pretty great cover there. And the back cover. Again, a 20p price tag. This one has some, looks like some Spirit reprinted in it as well, which is super cool. I haven't really sat and flipped through all these books yet. I just kind of just put Lillian to bed and decided to do a video, and we look through them together. So there you go. Not bad. And again, I mean, $2.33 a book. Most of these, if I would have seen them at a convention here, I probably would have picked them up for that price too. So I don't feel like I still feel like I got a really good deal on them. This Hagar the Horrible, kind of graphic novelish. I do know the character. I was never a huge fan, but again, an odd lot of stuff. I'll take it. One that I was really interested in getting. It's really fucked up, but I'm really excited about it. This is Mind Warp, an anthology from Dave Sheridan and Schreier. And what's his first name? Fred Schreier. So there you go. Mind Warp. It's kind of magazine size, but uber thick. And I'm really excited about this one. I have seen this one before in many auctions, and I have read about it. So very excited to have a copy of this sucker, no matter how beat up it is. Still be able to read it. Oh, look, hey. With leaf. So clearly these were stored outside, which would make sense why they're all damaged. I'm assuming maybe the backstory to this is, I never asked him. I should ask him what the backstory to this collection is. Must have found them in somebody's garage, possibly just stashed away. In pretty darn decent shape. This one's called Drool, a humor magazine, a Cloud Comics presentation. Don't know anything about this one. Looks like it has even some, that's very cool. Photo comics as well too. Give you kind of a quick sample of the interiors of these as we're going. And there you go. We get into a couple of doubles here. This one, which I'm really excited to have a double of, minor kind of miscoloration on the front, but still in really good shape. This is a hell of a book. I've got a really nice copy of this White Lunch Comics, and this is Rand Holmes doing the cover, and I'll show you a little bit of the interior there, but we won't go too far into the interior. There you go. You get the idea of what that's going to contain. A really, really good book. So that's a cool one to have a double of. That one might go to a buddy of mine here in town. He expressed some interest in it when I posted a photo. Another Inner City Comics, yes, Inner City Romance #2. This is the Radical Rock issue with the big, nice wraparound cover. Always great to have doubles of this series. Guy Caldwell is a hell of a guy. So that's pretty amazing. Another double, and this one's actually in really nice shape too. Women's Comics #3. There's the back of that one. There you go. And another double, which is in really nice shape too. It's got a bit of a rip on the back cover, but other than that, still in beautiful shape. Mean Bitch Thrills by Spain. And there you go up there. You could see the tear in it, but a hell of a book. This is another good read as well too. His art is just so fantastic. Feds and Heads comics by Gilbert Shelton. He of the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers and Wonder Warthog and featuring Wonder Warthog. This is one that I've seen many, many, many times. I think I might have had a copy of this at one time in my life, but no longer. And then, of course, I do recognize some of the Freak Brothers strips in there from other comics. So yeah, that'll be good. Good shape as well. Something I know nothing about. This is soft core with a giant leaky tit. The Bang Gang and Joe Fuggenstein. So there you go. The back cover of that beauty. Another one that's in really nice shape. More than I'm excited about. Again, doubles. Let me see. I thought there was another one of those. Let's get them together. You know, and this has been the thing with these searches on eBay. You know, it's just a market on eBay that's just not being tapped. The underground comics, people just aren't buying them. So this is Skull Comics. Number 3, so another double for me. Pretty decent shape, but again, still low grade. Not sure what that is. Oh, just something printed on there. So that'll be good trade material there as well. And then another copy of Skull number 5. I think this is my 3rd copy of this one now. So that's cool. These two I'm pretty excited about. They're not... The copies I have weren't the most dirt cheap issues. So Death Rattle number 1, this is from volume 1. There was only 3 issues of this one when it came out. I believe these first ones have some Corbin in it as well too, just for a name. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's fantastic having these. Love it. And then Death Rattle number 3 from volume 1 as well, which is very, very fucking cool. And again, in really nice shape. So that'll be good. Those will be good books to trade up. Brain Fantasy. I've got this one with the kind of weird Wolverton looking cover. Not the greatest book like content wise, but you know, again, nice to have some trade bait. Book that I don't know anything about. This is Teenage Horizons of Shangri-La. Looks like with Jay Lynch on the front. And this is issue number 1. It looks like Dennis Kitchen. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, D. Kitchen. It's got a pretty great style. So another good anthology mag. There you go. And then Shangri-La number 2 as well. Some Pro Junior on the back. That's cool. Hilarious. Oh, looks like some Trina Robbins in here as well too. Oh yeah. Great stuff. Excellent. Moving along here, Uncle Sham. I completely understand if people don't make it through this video. It's just flipping through books. This is purely a haul video. Uncle Sham, issue number 1, I believe. Yeah, so Geyser, the guy who did this, this damaged one here, same guy, and who did Saloon, which I've managed to just keep coming across. So something else of his, which is great. I do like his style, so I'm looking forward to digging into that one. Bakersfield County Comics. Looks like just a one-off. Oh, a nice wraparound cover too. There you go. It's pretty amazing. I love that. It's a great picture. They all have someone's name written inside too, which is the other thing I didn't mention. So obviously the person whose collection it was. 1073 looks like maybe his original collection, probably when he bought the books himself. Almost a little kind of Archie looking, these characters there. Another one that I don't have that I'm very excited for, and it's in really nice shape too, Snarf issue number 3. With the Spirit busting through what's probably the Krupp's Comic Works front door there. I don't know if Eisner appears in this or not, but Dennis Kitchen does, amongst others. Yeah, I don't see any Eisner, but yeah, there you go. So Snarf number 3. Another duplicate, Zap number 3. This one's in pretty rough shape, but still always good to have some extra Zaps floating around. American Flyer Funnies. I think it's just a one-off. There's the back of that one. Little beat up on the corners here, but nothing too bad, really. Again, $2.33 Canadian an issue. How the hell can you go wrong? Hydrogen Bomb, number 1, $1 cover. Pretty thick book too, actually, almost like a double-sized issue there. And Wonder Warthog on the back. Oh yeah, some Gilbert Shelton, Little Orphan Amphetamine. I remember this story just being really, really fucking great. Cool. Some Sheridan, Robert Williams, Greg Irons. Holy crap, yeah. This is filled with everybody. Kim Deitch. There's some Wonder Warthog there. Really great. Very cool. An issue of Nard and Pat that I don't have. This is issue number 1 with a huge fold in the top. But again, it's fucking cheap, man. It's cheap, man. Another duplicate for me. Dutch Treat. $1 price tag, though. I don't know how many printings of this one there were. I'll have to look that up. So I seem to think that mine had a different cover price. So maybe I've stumbled on a multiple printing. This is a great comic, though, too. Some really great strips in there, reprints. Another duplicate, Easy Wolf by Ted Richards. 75 center. Again, this is one I'll have to look into, see if this is a printing that maybe I don't have. Dope and Dan, Ted Richards again. And for Johnny DaCosta, who may or may not make it to this point in the video, a couple, he was showing these off because he found some of these. I used to have this book as well, too, a long time ago, Quack. Dave Sim, The Beavers by Dave Sim of Cerebus fame. And this is issue number 3. Oh, it does say it up there. I just didn't see it. Issue number 3 of Quack. There you go. And then issue number 4 of Quack. I've never seen this one. So there we go. That's pretty great. Some Canadian content there, or more Canadian content there. Star Reach, issue number 1. I believe I have this one. Howard Chaykin story. Jim Starlin, Steve Skeets, and Walt Simonson. It's the amazing back cover. This back cover, I just love this one. It's fucking fantastic. Another that I was really looking forward to picking up was this. This wasn't Geisel again, was it? No. Who is this one? This is Tasty Comics number 2. I'm trying to find out. Maybe there was someone involved in this one. That was the reason why I wanted it. I thought Geisel was in here somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I'll have to read about it again. Maybe it just got this. I think it was just a 2-issue series, this Tasty, and I think it just maybe got high ratings on the good old Comics Joint website there. Somebody who's just passed recently, Jack T. Chick. Chick Tracts were his kind of Bible stories, almost they were printed up kind of like Tijuana Bibles, but they had some Bible stories. This one is called Scarface, from a company called The Crusaders. So that one is going to be some sort of read, that's for damn sure. There's a look at the interiors there. Tales from the Ozone #2. Some more absolute filth from our friend from the Checkered Demon, S. Clay Wilson. I think the whole book is him. There's no kind of title page. I'm pretty sure the whole book is him, though. Yeah, called Bent. So, you know, that'll be some wholesome family reading right there. That's a good back cover. There you go. Another duplicate, Women's Comics #2. Another duplicate, this is Show and Tell Comics, Justin Green. Not a bad read, this one. I did just read this one recently. It's got some mild, this one has some very, 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 very mild wrinkling up here. So it might have just got a little bit of moisture. I'm still thinking of holding on to this one, though, just because this would be a good one to kind of include in some gifts in the future. I have this particular issue, Armageddon #3, and it's not a bad read. And thankfully, these ones weren't damaged. I was really excited to get these. This is Armageddon #2. And All New Underground Comics #1, which includes Armageddon #1. So I'm very excited that these survived. Very, very intrigued to read these 2 stories. Really looking forward to it. I actually kind of liked the first one quite a bit. There's just like the third one, rather. Just like the third one, there's tons of sex in there, so maybe we'll wait. Coochie Cootie, Robert Williams. Finally got this. I see this all the time too, but it's usually in lots or on its own where it's just pretty damn expensive. And this is in beautiful shape. Another Snarf that I don't have, Snarf #5. So that's Snarf collection getting closer and closer every day. Manhunt Comics #2. There's 2 copies of this, and this is called Hit the Road, a comic for and about hitchhiking. Yeah, so duplicates of this one, both 50 cents. Looks interesting, you know, I like this sort of thing. A giant thumb to cut out for hitchhiking, there you go. Another duplicate that I have, but it's a hell of a book. This is Fantagore #3. From Last Gasp with a whole bunch of Richard Corbin. Another duplicate. This was actually one that the other one ended up in the garbage. This was there was 2 of these in here. The other one was one that was severely damaged and moldy. So that one went straight into the garbage. This one's in really rough shape, a big tear at the back there and stuff. But still, it's San Francisco comic book. Holding on to it just in case. Another one that might be a good gift. I have 1 issue of this book. It's called Truckin'. This is issue #2. I have issue 1. There's issue numero 2, a flip over comic. Ice Age comics in the back there. The Pag Feek Papers. I don't know anything about this whatsoever. I've never even heard of it in my hunting through comics joint. Toe Jam Funnies. Again, another one I don't know anything about. And these were in here, which intrigued me. Actually, let's save those for last. Another kind of a little bit of an oversized one. People Are Phony. Raw Fun, French Milton, Quaalude to War. $1 for dolts only. Tales told by idiots, full of sound and fury. The author and the illustrator, signifying nothing. That's a fantastic back cover. So good. What more do you need to know about the book? It's in pretty rough shape. But again, at least I'll get to read the damn thing. So these were in this lot as well. Are they numbered? Probably not. I'll start off with the one that has the most amazing cover. This is something called Starstream, Adventures in Science Fiction from Whitman. This one has Isaac Asimov's Does a Bee Care, plus Paul Anderson's Call Me Joe, rather, and more. And I think this is from, 1976. I love, love, love this cover. This is just fantastic. So I don't know anything about this. This looks like something that maybe Damien will be familiar with. I'm familiar with both of the main authors' names there, obviously Isaac Asimov, Paul Anderson. I think I've got a couple of paperbacks of his as well. But there you go. Some sci-fi stories in comic book form. I'm really excited about these, actually. They look fantastic, and there's 4 of them. So it doesn't say the numbers on the front. Oh, it says right inside there. So this is number 3. One I just showed you was number 4. This one is number 3. Another very cool cover. And this one is number 2. Look at the back cover there. And this one must be number 1, and this one's fairly rough, but I'm gonna keep it anyway. It's not too bad, but it is kind of showing a little bit of signs of something going on there. Number 1. Really great interiors. And they don't actually, considering that they have been sitting with books that were damp and damaged, they don't smell. I'm surprised. I expected, once I saw the books that were highly damaged and quite visibly moldy, I expected that all of them would just be really, I expected the smell to be really intense on all of them. It's really not. Even putting your nose right into the page. I do notice this, though. Handling the books, there's definitely a bit of a texture on them. Especially these Whitman ones. There's a bit of a texture, a bit of a feel to them. I don't know much about cleaning comics. I don't know if it's something to even worry about or fuck with. Like I said, the big stack, I'm pretty good with all of them, especially once they get in bags and boards. It might be the kind of thing that I leave separate from my other stuff. I'm going to have to do some more reading on it, basically. I want to read a little bit more about just kind of comics and newsprint as far as mold and that sort of thing goes. But yeah, so it's a hell of a stack of books. That was it. Purely a show and tell, and I wish I had more to tell you. More of a show, really. Yeah, thank you very much for everybody who did drop in again. I know that maybe this isn't the style of video for everybody, but I just really wanted to share these books with you guys. So if you did make it through the whole thing, thanks very much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.